I'm Carla Reeves, and this is Differently. Whether you feel stuck in survival, navigating a change, or seeking more for your life, may this podcast be your weekly nudge to take a risk to build a life that is uniquely bold, authentic, and in alignment with your deepest values. After a decade of coaching individuals from corporate leaders to creative artists to multi-million-dollar CEOs, I'm convinced we are far closer than we realize to what we deeply desire, and it's a willingness to do differently that can change everything. My mom would often say to me, "Relax." It used to bother me. I didn't feel she knew what was inside of me and how important it was for me to always be growing and learning and doing new things. It wasn't until I was introduced to the idea of the Restless Saboteur that I actually heard and understood what she was likely trying to tell me. Relax. Because when I actually relax, my mind and activity and motion is when I find the most profound moments of presence, of love, of connection and intimacy, deep creative writing, or getting deep in my work with others, or the thing I'm doing in that very moment. I've lived many years of my life allowing this restless saboteur to whisper lies into my ear that I wasn't there yet. This isn't good enough. There's something more exciting down the road. Understanding and recognizing the lies of this voice in your head is imperative for architecting a life that truly aligns to your values. Today's episode, I'm going to take you into the restless mindset, the saboteur, the strength also that lies within, and how to leverage and lead with this strength so that you can lead your life in the face of the sneaky lies of the restless saboteur. You might be wondering, what's a saboteur? A couple of years ago, I was introduced to the work of Shirzad Chamine, and it brought new light to my own journey that I've been on and the work I do with clients. He teaches of 9 saboteurs, and we all have a top 3. You can find out more about his work at positiveintelligence.com. It's been curious to discover that my top 3, which are hyperachiever, restless, and pleaser, and you can go back and listen to episodes number 67, Are You a Hyperachiever? And number 72, Are You a Pleaser? To learn more about those. These happen to be also the top saboteurs often for my clients, which I find super interesting. And the areas of which I've done most of the work into my life around time and work-life blend, work-life balance, relationships, intimacy, getting out of survival, and really creating lasting fulfillment right where you are. Understanding these saboteurs has been priceless in the realm of doing that work. Shirzad's definition of the restless saboteur is constantly in search of greater excitement in the next activity or constant busyness, rarely at peace or content with the current activity. The strengths of the restless are high energy and vitality, open, curious, and spontaneous, contagious enthusiasm and appreciation of life, capable of great productivity and creativity, energizing and engaging others in co-creation, and they're capable of a great breadth of activity and pursuits. When the restless strength is overused or untamed, they often describe these types of patterns showing up in their life. They might describe easily distracted and can get too scattered. They stay busy juggling many different tasks and plans. They seek excitement over comfort and safety. They tend to bounce from or escape from unpleasant feelings or uncomfortable feelings very quickly, and they seek constant new stimulation. The way that I see this show up in the private coaching work I do with clients is a feeling of never feeling satisfied, always striving, waiting to really live their life, and avoiding the things that actually lead to what they want, which is closer, more intimate connections, friendships, relationships, partnerships, marriage, etc. If you're restless, you might relate to feeling like your mind is very busy, often multitasking. You might be great at starting things, but have a harder time finishing or following through. You might feel this relentless urgency to get to the next thing or the next more exciting thing. There's a feeling of like, hurry up, let's not waste time. You might feel like a sense of rushing, getting to the next and the next and the next. If you relate strongly to this idea of restless, it is very easy to fall into because your energy, enthusiasm, and zest for life has you on a full quest to maximize everything to its fullest. This is an amazing quality, but left to run wild can actually create the very opposite, where you never feel fulfilled because you're rarely present long enough to settle in with peace and contentment. This is something I'm learning and practicing. And I'm just going to say that again. This is an amazing quality of the restless, this energy and enthusiasm and zest for life. But if we let it run wild, it can actually create the very opposite of what we want because we are rarely present long enough to settle into the moment we're in with peace and contentment. The thoughts or lies that your mind might be telling you are things like, this isn't fulfilling. This next thing has got to be more exciting. These negative feelings suck. I must shift my attention to something better. Why can't anyone keep up with me? There's a constant impatience of what is happening, what's happening now, wondering what's next, fear of missing out on something better or more worthwhile, a restless sense of just wanting more or more options, and a worried that focus on any unpleasant feeling is going to grow that and become overwhelming. The lie of the saboteur, the restless saboteur, is that life is too short. It must be lived fully. I don't want to miss out. Pretty convincing, right? You can feel the cost and the impact. The cost and the impact of overusing this strength can be the cost of your own personal well-being, getting caught in autopilot or in that performance vortex where you just think that your achievements and your producing is going to lead somewhere better. All the while, time is passing by and you feel like you're missing it. Underneath the surface of fun and excitement of the restless is an anxiety-based escape from being present to this moment's full experience, which might and sometimes means dealing with unpleasant things. The restless often avoids a real and lasting focus on the issues and relationships that truly matter, and others have a difficult time keeping up with the frenzy and chaos brought by the restless. The perceived solution is that you will arrive at the next better thing and be happy and fulfilled. It is so convincing. The BS or untruth of this is that we're never actually present long enough to learn to cultivate and sustain happiness and fulfillment. I did an episode quite some time ago, number 36. It was a client spotlight, How to Live More Fully with Diana Bresnan. And we talk about this very thing and how we helped her not wait until retirement to live her life, because if you don't know how to live more fully right where you are, you won't know when you get to that someday place. That might be a good listen to go back to. Is this you? I want to help you today. There's a huge opportunity to take this strength of restless and leverage it by taking all this incredible energy you have stirring inside of you and use it to propel all domains of your life forward. It works. I'm doing it in my own life, and I've been helping individuals like you make these simple yet profound adjustments in where they put their time, energy, and focus. I want to give you a few things that you can do right away that will make a difference. One is just to simply start to pay attention to the lies in your head and the voice that's telling you these things and creating this motion for constant forward motion that is going to get you somewhere and it actually keeps you from being right where you are. And so just raising your awareness to it and calling it out as a lie is super helpful. When you catch yourself, pause and ask, is this actually going to lead and create more fulfillment or take you away from where you are right in this moment? You can stop and acknowledge this and also do a light meditation, even something like just tapping into your senses and noticing what you see, touch, hear, smell, feel. Journaling, as you know, I'm a huge fan. Journaling is a great way to get out your thinking and actually be able to stand back and get a little bit of distance and look at what repetitive thoughts are helping you and moving you forward and which ones are keeping you from what you actually want. Building a strong inner life and a quiet life can really help to create a contrast for these saboteur voices that are wreaking havoc in your life. This is a practice. It's really a practice of leading with a wiser part of you and getting off the treadmill to someday, because your life is now. It's now, it's here, this is it. I want to give you an invitation to take the saboteur assessment and find out your own top saboteurs. You can do that at positiveintelligence.com. I also want you to know that I am a positive intelligence coach, and I have the ability to take you through the program that you will see on this site. It's a 6-week mental fitness coaching program and app. You can do it as an individual with me, or you can do it with a team or even with your family. If you take the assessment and you want to send me the results, you can go to carlareeves.com, fill out the contact form, or email me directly at carla@carlareeves.com. I'd love to introduce you to the program and see if it would be a good fit for you, your family, or your team. I love the restless. You have a contagious energy about you. You have an appreciation for making the most of your life, and you bring things to life and get things done. And I love working with you. The goal is not to get rid of this. It's learning to understand and have self-discipline about when it's a strength and when it is not. As you can see, restless is a great strength, and when it's overused, can have a huge impact. It really is all about having awareness, because when you have awareness, you can pause and make a different choice to ensure that the saboteur isn't leading you on the treadmill to someday and keeping you from living your life right here and now. What always gets me to pause and question this relentless stirring inside of me is a bigger desire to not miss the moments I'm living here in my home next to my husband while we're hanging out as a family, or we're FaceTiming with Tom, who's in the Navy. Because contrary to what the saboteur whispers in your mind, what I want, and I think what you want, is deeper, closer relationships, quiet time, to feel calm in your being and your body so that you can show up and lead your life to the fullest right now. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode of Differently. I hope it stirred your thinking, and I invite you to take one inspired action from something that stood out to you. If you want to hear more conversations like this, be sure to hit follow on your favorite podcast app. And if this episode could impact someone you know, please help us spread the word and pass it along. Remember, new episodes drop weekly. See you next week.